So hello my loves, and welcome back to Around the Kitchen Table. Oh, to get myself a bit more comfy, because today I'm here to really express something to you in a slightly different way than our usual blog perhaps. If you're watching this on video, then you can see that I'm relaxed, I have a cup of tea in my hand. We're in Essaouira in Morocco on our workation. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. And if you are listening to this on Spotify or anywhere else that you find us, I'm sat here in this beautiful boho apartment on the sofa with a cup of tea, ready to share and connect with you. Before I do that, I'm going to just quickly close off my emails behind, which are making noise and binging in the background, because actually that's perfect, because there's always an urgency. So take a moment, breathe, land here with me. Maybe you're out walking or curled up under a blanket, or maybe you are just taking a quiet moment for yourself before the world needs anything from you. However you've come, I'm glad you're here, because today I want to talk about something tender, timely, and true, and that is perfect timing. So good morning, good morning, good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, or whenever you find us, wherever you are in the world. Perfect timing, does it really exist? Is it really a thing? Not the kind the world talks about, and not the timing of strategy or sales or performance, but the kind that actually lives deep in your bones, the kind that moves in rhythm with your breath, your womb, and your wisdom. This week, something beautiful, I'm going to say finally unfolded, but when I think about it, there is no finally. It all happened exactly as it was meant to, in perfect time and in perfect alignment. So yesterday, I feel like there's a little drum roll here. The doors to the Sacred Sister Sanctuary opened. And this space is something I've been dreaming into for so many years. And whilst there's so much I could say about it, what I really felt and what I'm still feeling is this soft and sacred reminder. You don't need to rush. You don't need to push, and you're not behind. You, my love, are right on time. So the question came, maybe it was just a week ago, possibly 10 days ago, from a beautiful mentor that I'm working with. And I decided that this year was the time to really step in. I've done loads of trainings, loads of, just so many things. It's crazy. But it was like, okay, if I really want to move forward into the next kind of level of my life as I reach 50 this year, I want to have someone by my side. I want to have someone that connects me back to that beautiful witchy part of me that seems to have got pushed aside in the last few years. Excuse me, while something's in my eye. Pushed aside, and I was finding myself more and more and more in this space of urgency. And I realized that part of that space of urgency is actually not my energy. It's the energy of the world around me. Got to do more, got to make more money. Everything's too expensive. I've got to make more to make it work. And that's not who I am, and that's not how I work, and that's not how I create in the world. So I was asked the question, what is the urgency? What is it that pushes you forward? What is the rush? And I spent 2 days headlong deep in my journal. And some of what I'm going to share with you today is what kind of came forward for me. So I want to talk about that today because I know how loud the world can be. I know how easy it is to feel like you're missing something or falling behind or failing to keep up. Anyone else out there who, homework at school was like such a big deal for me. I mean, I now know more about myself as an adult with a diagnosis of ADHD, which I'm not big on diagnosis. I'm not even big on the term ADHD, but I can certainly see more of myself. If you're into human design, I'm also a manifesting generator. If I was allowed to just live my design, of course I did things the way I did them when I was a kid. Of course I still do as an adult. But what really allowed me to lean in with that diagnosis was to connect with, wow, when someone gave me homework, I would never be able to sit down and do that homework straight after school because I came out of school and I was like brain fried, and I'd have to go to the park, or I'd have to go out on my bike, or I'd have to go and do something that kind of took me out of that brain pattern. And then my mum used to say to me, she'd go to bed at like 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and I'd still be there. That would be my beavering away time till sometimes 2 in the morning to get it done because I had to, right? Because I was going to fall behind, or there was going to be pressure. I was going to get told off for not doing it. But that was my flow. That worked for me. And I was a night bird, and I went to bed at 2 and I got up at 8 and I went to school and I was still fine. And I'm still 6 hours a night girl now, although I'm stretching that out. I went to bed at 10:30 last night and woke up at 8:30 this morning. That's how I know I'm on a workation, because it's different, right? The energy is different. The bed's so comfy. And yeah, there's just not that pressure to wake up for the dogs and to wake up for the kids and to do everything. So it's a beautiful space to be in. But that's how I used to live, and it's still how I live. I still have this sense of urgency. I've got to do it. The world's going to end tomorrow. Well, do you know what? It might. And if I haven't finished that last piece of work that I was going to do, it's not going to matter at that moment in time. So that's one of the reasons. One of the other reasons is I have so many things burning inside of me, so much wisdom, right? Like, I call myself the wise sacred woman on my other channels, my channels, personal channels away from Sacred Sister. And I was a bit like, oh, how do I feel about that? That's been a change very recently, and I've not started working on those profiles yet, so don't get too excited. But I was like, who am I to call myself the wise sacred woman? And it was like, we all are. We all have such deep wisdom and knowledge. And I guess the rush for me is that feeling of like, oh my God, I've got to do it all now. I need everyone to know all of this stuff right now. No, I don't. And the other rush, somebody said to me a little while ago, why does everything you have to do be massive and big? And it's like, well, because I can either tell one person or I can tell 300. I'd rather tell 300. And that's, again, not about my ego, not about me kind of stepping in and going, I know it all. It's about me saying, I want you to awaken to the absolute beauty and glory that you are inside of you. Because that's what I feel the true path of sisterhood is for me. So, especially now, in this powerful season of Beltane. It was Beltane yesterday, the 1st of May. It doesn't mean it's done. We've had Beltane and it's over. We're in that energy. When everything around us is blooming, and when the earth is really truly waking up and the fire is rising, and the pressure to make something happen can really creep in, even when your soul is whispering, not yet. I used to live in that space. The constant drive, the need to prove, to perform, to be ready before I was ready. And what I've realized is that I burned out more times than I can count, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. But I didn't recognize it as burnout. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia when I was 27, told I'd be in a wheelchair by the time I was 30. I used that as a catalyst to change my life, to become chemical free, to not eat certain foods, to look after myself better, to sleep more when I can. And I busted out of all of that pain and all of that disconnection to my body. So I know that it's easy to burn out, and I know that it's easy to decide not to. And that happened when I stopped trying to chase time and started living in rhythm with it. When I began to really honor my own seasons, the seasons of my body, my creativity, my energy, my emotions. And that's what this conversation is really about. Not just about Beltane, not just about blooming, but real discernment. Should I do it or not? Because Beltane isn't just about desire and doing, it's about choosing. It's about listening to the fire within and asking, what is truly ready to rise in me right now? And what still needs time in the dark, deep in the soil? We live in a culture that really worships the spring, right? Like we're in the doing, the results. But the feminine, well, she honors it all. The stillness, the mess, the waiting, the knowing. She knows that perfect timing, I'm going to say that in inverted commas, isn't something you plan. It's something you feel, something you remember. And I want to really, truly remind you of that today. That it's okay if you're not blooming yet. It's okay if you're still underground. It's okay if you are tired and unsure and tender. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're becoming in your own sacred time. So there is no rush here, no pressure, no performance, just you and your rhythm. You and the ancient pulse of life that moves through you when you slow down enough to hear it. And so today I want to offer you an invitation, not to do more, but to do less. To sit with these questions as if we were journaling side by side. What season am I truly in right now? Am I in a season of spring where it feels like it's on go and I'm pushing forward and I need to do more? Am I in my winter where actually I'm really happy to be quiet and still? What season are you truly in right now? Not what season is happening outside in the world. Where are you? Where are you pushing when you could be softening? And what would change if you truly trusted the timing of your life? So grab a pen, press pause a moment, write these down in your journal to come back to. What season am I truly in right now? Where am I pushing when I could be softening? What would change if I truly trusted the timing of my life? You can come back to these whenever you need to. You don't need to fix anything. If you stop acting like you're broken and the victim in your own life, I promise you, if you just come to a place where you can accept this is where you are right now, everything will change. You don't need to fix anything. You don't need to make a plan. Just notice. Just listen. Just be your own authentic, aligned, beautiful self. And if you'd like some support, a gentle way to reconnect with the sacred rhythm, I recorded a Beltane meditation yesterday, which if you're receiving this from our mailing, you should have got yesterday, but I will make this available today. I think I can do that. Or I'll pop the link here. Wherever you're watching this, I'll pop the link for the Beltane meditation. If that's what feels good to you. It's there for whenever you need it, not a spark productivity, but to invite presence. And if you feel the soft nudge, the whispers of maybe now, then the door to the sanctuary is also open. Not with urgency, not with noise, but like a candle left in the window, waiting for you to arrive in your own time. Because when you do, we'll be there. We'll hold the kettle, we'll put out a chair, and we'll welcome you home. The sanctuary really blew me away yesterday. And I want to share with you before we end why it's so powerful to me. And this isn't a sales pitch. Nothing I ever do is a sales pitch. But I want to help you understand the journey that I came to get to that place where the sanctuary could open its doors. Make sure you have your tea. When I first started Sacred Sister, it started in lockdown, and straight away I was like, I'm going to do a membership. And in the January following that, I created Shine, which was our membership program. And I was like, right, I'm going to do this. I've never done this before. I've never done online stuff like this before. I've been a therapist for 30 years. I've listened to hundreds of thousands of women's stories. And I know that I've got this in me. And I knew that I had created this space for myself to shine over and over again in my life. The buzz of new businesses and new creations and supporting other businesses to grow and supporting women to grow, like that had been my life. It still is my life. And I love it. But at that time I was like, how can I affect change in more women, bigger, better? But I didn't have the self-belief. So that first year, right? Because I was like in this place of like, no one's got any money. It's really dire. I can tell you now, those women that journeyed with me on that first year paid £75 for 12 months of the Shine membership. I mean, how I thought I was going to live on that myself, I have no idea. And it took so much time and energy. It was, we met every Monday. I showed up and I did a live video recording of like the theme for that week. Every Wednesday, I showed up in the morning and in the evening. I did 2 circles a week that people could join me on. We had an active Facebook group and WhatsApp group. We were there, we were showing up, we were regular. I held retreats at my home. Like, it was powerful. I can't even remember how many of us were on that first cohort. And I'm so grateful to my husband who supported me, even though I could feel the roll of his eyes. And I could sense this reality of the women that came. And there was a part of me that was like, oh, wow, if I've made it too cheap, like, I don't know what's going to happen here. They're not going to be committed. They're not going to be interested. They're not going to show up. You know what? A few dropped out. But those women, 5 years on, still have a deep connection with each other. They don't meet all the time, they don't meet regularly, but they know, and that WhatsApp group is active to this day. They know that if they need something, they can drop in there and those women will be there for them. They uncover deep diving wounds. We worked together in the sisterhood wound, the mother wound. We worked together in, what it was to have true forgiveness, what it was to find your self-love, self-worth, self-care. We worked on so many aspects. Do you know what it did? It took me on the journey. That year was worth it. Every penny of it that I didn't make, it was worth it for me to arrive as who I am in this moment today. I started my interfaith ministry training just after that. I did 2 years of really deep diving into myself. And again, if I tell you all the magic that happened for all of these things to evolve, I'd be here all day. But that happened again in a really magical way. And then the second year of Shine came round, and I was there full in that. And because I'd made this lifetime commitment to these women, that whatever we did within Shine, it would be there forever, like I was still showing up and it was still exhausting. And so I had to make the decision to step away from holding those regular circles. It was getting less and less. People were showing up less and less. I launched our circle training. Many of the women in that program came and did their circle training with me. So I was like, great, now you can hold some space. I'm not here doing it all by myself. And it was powerful. It still is powerful. But many times I was like, right, I want this to be on a different platform. I want to house this differently. I want to connect with it differently. I want to show up differently. I want to kind of create a membership where, more women can come. It can be more open. And then I took an out breath. And I stayed in that out breath for about 18 months. I stayed in that out breath, feeling all sorts of feelings, feeling guilty that I wasn't showing up, feeling exhausted by what had been, finding myself again, coming back to all the practices that I'd shared within Shine that allowed me to feel myself, finding my way back into my own rhythm instead of the one that I'd forced on myself by showing up every morning, every Wednesday, being there, being present. And I recognized that same time aligned with me really diving more deeply into this spiritual awakening that I call menopause, or that we all call menopause. Because that time for me was a time where I'd had a hysterectomy at 40. So I'm talking like that moment of 45, 46, when actually something hit me, this wave of change and transition and deepening into the pause. I never stopped working. I was still there. I was still striving. I was still pushing. I was still active. I was still trying to, create. I was creating every season, different things, the gatherings, the retreats. I was still there, still active, still moving forward, still striving, still not charging anywhere near what I was worth or what I needed to make ends meet. And so last year we hit a really tough financial time, and Chris had to go back to his full-time work within his business, even though we'd already created loads of other aspects of our businesses. And so this is what brought me to this space where I truly said yes to myself about 8 weeks ago and went, I'm doing this mentorship. I'm going to get the sanctuary is going to open. This is the year. Now, again, I can tell you so many things that happened last year. I signed up to this, app platform. I was going to create the app. Sacred Sister was going to have an app. It was going to be there. I was going to do that. And I spent hundreds, thousands of pounds and time and energy, and I never completed it. It was never quite right. Then I was like, unteachable. Okay, I'm going to house it all unteachable and we'll just have a group somewhere else and I'm going to do all this work. And I spent hundreds of thousands of pounds and I created hundreds of courses ready to go, ready to rock. And I never completed it. And there was always something that didn't feel quite right. And then 8 weeks ago, I was like, right, I'm going to do it now. Now is the time. And I was like, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to create the web page. In fact, actually, before I do that, I'm going to recreate the whole website. Within 8 hours, I had gone through the whole of our website and it felt good and it was more aligned. It had a complete revamp. It's easier to maneuver and work around. It's easier to find what you're looking for. And I created some freebies and I created some content and I started the blog here and the podcast. And I'm still showing up on a Friday, and that's a good rhythm. It feels good for me. I like it. I enjoy it. And with some ease And with some stress, I have created the platform within a platform called Heartbeat. Heartbeat. I was like, even the name feels right. And I can build community in there, and I can create courses, and I can add in documents, and so I was like, great. So I put all this work in, and we started to create it, and women started to join the sanctuary as our founding members, and it was beautiful. And then I hit another wall. I'd created lots of audio because I just wanted this to be more audio based. If you are watching this on screen right now, you're having to engage with me and be on the screen, which is beautiful, and I'm grateful, and I love that you do it. But I feel I have to show up a certain way, right? I'm losing that quite a lot. As you can see, I'm very rarely pristine anymore when I show up. If you're listening to this, you can listen to it anywhere. You can stick me in your ears whilst you're cooking the dinner. And there's a difference when you don't have to be on the screen. On the screen can feel like pressure. I've got to sit and watch this. I listen to things all the time. I listen to music. I listen to things in my car. It's just easier. It takes the pressure off. And then I realized when I went to upload all of this that the platform didn't allow for MP3s, only MP4s. I wouldn't even know what that language was a while ago, but I've taught myself how to build the website, I've taught myself how to build community, I've taught myself how to engage, I've taught myself how to build on social media, I've taught myself how to hold a podcast, I've literally gone through it all, and yet I still get that, it's a techie thing and I don't know how to do it. Well, I went to sleep on it. I didn't stress about it. I went, I'll figure it out in the morning. Even though it was the day before, and even though I had some stuff that was really pressured, time sensitive, all about Beltane. So I made a Beltane page on the website and I shared that with the founding members. And yesterday morning I woke up and it dropped in, and I was like, it's okay. I can turn it all into video. It doesn't have to be me. It can be a beautiful video of a flower blossoming, and that can just be what plays on repeat in the background. Or I can create a holding page, and that can sit there. It doesn't have to be me. Oh, I get quite emotional thinking about that. And by 3 o'clock yesterday, I had stuck to my word. I had launched the Heartbeat platform. It was out in the world, and I had forgotten that you can download it on your phone and have it as an app. So it can be on your phone, and you can do it on your laptop. You can look at it anywhere, and you can listen to me as you work through your day. And that is the biggest out breath I could take. And I shared it with my husband, and we both cried, as I'm going to now, because this isn't about showing up in ego. It's not about, hey, look what I know. It's not about me teaching you anything. It's about awakening a place in you that says, you're not too late. You're not too much. You're not lost. You're a woman in rhythm. And that rhythm is enough. And so everything that happens inside the sanctuary happens when you're ready to come to it. I haven't even scheduled when the circles will be yet, because I will feel into them, and that rhythm will come, and you will be there or you won't. It will feel right in that moment or it won't. You may want to take the journey on our first course, the Goddess Morning, and do it together and join in and be present. It might not feel right for you right now, and you'll come to it when it's ready. Everything will be there. It's not going anywhere. So does perfect timing exist? Only if you lean into the perfect timing for you. So thank you for sitting at the table with me today. I'll meet you here again real soon. Take care. Bye, my loves.